Hello, everybody. Welcome in. The most expensive thing you will ever pay is always going to be attention to the wrong people. We are live celebrating World Intellectual Property Day. World Intellectual Property Day. This is a big deal, my folks. This is a big deal. So, if you're chiming in on Periscope, I want you to please go ahead and make a comment so that I can put your comments up on the screen. Go ahead and make a comment so I can put your comments up on the screen. If you're coming in from Periscope, if you're coming in from YouTube, put your comments up on the screen. Put your comments up on the screen, okay? Dr. Jones in the house, yes, yes. Where's Loretta? She's right with me. She's right here with me. So Brad is over on Periscope. Good to see you, Brad. Good to see you, Brad, on Periscope. Who else is chiming in here? Come on in here, and we're celebrating World Intellectual Property Day. World Intellectual Property Day. Okay, and we're going to be talking about the three kinds of intellectual property. Most people talk about three kinds of intellectual property, but today I'm going to talk about four types of intellectual property. Four types of intellectual property. You're going to love this stuff, because actually there are four types of intellectual property. Okay, so I'm Dr. Fred Jones. My doctorate is a Juris Doctorate. That's a law degree. I'm a literary attorney. I am a retired college professor. I taught intellectual property at Kennesaw State University right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I taught intellectual property for several years there. I taught it in the undergraduate program, and I taught it in the graduate program. And I taught business law and ethics for many years at Kennesaw State University. That's what we did. Let me see if we are live on Facebook, because it looks like we are not. Okay, yes, it is. Yes, we are live on Facebook. Okay, this is Intellectual Property Day, folks. And I want you all to go ahead and come on in and put some comments on the screen. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know where you're weighing in from. And I'll be more than glad to put your comments up on the screen here. Join me celebrating World Intellectual Property Day. Okay, so I taught intellectual property on several levels here. I taught it on several levels here, and I've practiced law in this area of intellectual property. I help people protect their intellectual property works. Okay, so what is intellectual property? How many of you know how many of you can give me one type of intellectual property? Give me one type of intellectual property. Who can do that for me? Go ahead and give me some intellectual property, folks, because I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. And I want to teach you how we can better protect our intellectual property, how we can better protect it. But you can't protect something you don't know you have, okay? You can't protect something you don't know you have, okay? So come on in and let's get started. Let's get started. I started in this space here in 1991. Can someone put in here 1991? All right. 1991, trademarks. Definitely trademarks are a form of intellectual property. Trademarks are a form of intellectual property. But I started in this space in 1991, okay? 1991, and that's when I first heard the word intellectual property, okay? Intellectual property in 1991. I first heard the word intellectual property. I was in law school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Southern University. Thank you, Brad. Yes, trademarks is one form of intellectual property. It's one form of intellectual property. Now, I wish I could teach this like I really want to, but I want to give you an overview, since this is the World Intellectual Property Day, and I want to give you some awareness of what properties are, and about other people stealing their intellectual property and taking intellectual property, and oftentimes we make a big deal of this, but I would love to share with you how you can get beyond that. Okay, how you can get beyond that. So let me see who's in here. I'm not going to get in a hurry today. Normally when I come in and scope, I go real fast, and I want to get a lot of information out to you so badly. but I'm not gonna do this live like that. I'm gonna take my time and teach so that I can really help people. So I can help people understand the power of intellectual property, so that you can learn that no one can really steal your intellectual property. How would you like to know about that? No one can really steal your intellectual property when you approach it the right way. You say, well, what is the right way? The right way is to know this. Your value is unlimited. Your worth is without measure. But your price is what you're willing to accept. You say, now, I don't understand now what that's got to do with no one stealing your intellectual property. Have you read that post on Facebook when it says that don't be blown away when someone else takes a bite out of you? They say, don't worry about it, because that's the only taste of success that some people will ever have. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I just said? Don't worry when other people take a bite out of you, when other people criticize you, when other people try to take your intellectual property from you, when other people try to, they don't know their worth, so they try to borrow someone else's worth, and they try to steal other people else's worth. And that post said, don't worry about that, because that's the only taste of success that some people will ever have. Okay. All right. So folks, let's keep going, because I want to talk about intellectual property. Let's roll. Okay. Let's roll. Do I have anybody following me from Facebook? Anybody following on Facebook? Okay. If you're in the Facebook group, go ahead and put a comment. I see Janice Hargrove is over on Facebook. Janet, put a comment in there. Okay. Okay. Okay, Janice, go ahead and put a comment over on Facebook. Okay, in Facebook, put a comment. Now, let's get started. Okay, so I'm good. Boy, I could go for a long time on this subject, but I'm going to be short here. I'm not going to make any promises about how long I'm going to go. Let me see here. I'm going to put my iPad on so I can watch you guys over on Periscope, and if I can get you guys to a comment and share over on Periscope, then I got Brad over there. He's responded. She's responded. He's responded. Okay, so I got Periscope up here. I'm not Rosie. Oh, hello, Rosie Murphy. Let me see here. I'm gonna put my. Hello, Rosie Murphy. Good to see you, Rosie. All right, Rosie. Yes. Okay. All right. I got that. There you go, Rosie. All right. Now, okay, we are on it. Okay. Periscope is good. Rosie A. Murphy is good. Okay, Rosie. So thank you, Rosie, over on Facebook. Okay. So hello over on Periscope. Okay, Periscope. I see you over there. Would that be Miss Tracy Gilbert over on Periscope? Okay. So let's start off with this. What is IP, or what is INTELLECTUAL, intellectual property? What is intellectual property? Okay. Hello there. Okay. Rosie. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Rosie. Now, Rosie, we're here. What is intellectual property? Okay. That is the question on the table. What is intellectual property? So, Rosie, can you tell me? Okay. Yes. Okay. Tracy Gilbert says, hi, Dr. Fred. Got it. Okay. My friends on Periscope. So, Tracy Gilbert, let's have a conversation. Rosie Murphy, let's have a conversation, Rosie. What is intellectual property? Can you put it in the comment box? Intellectual property, let's go true or false. Y'all want to go true or false? If you want to go true and false, let's go true and false. What is intellectual property? Okay. Intellectual property is property of the mind and not property of the hands. True or false? Okay. That's the question. Who wants to answer that? Intellectual property is property of the mind, not property of the hands. True or false? Okay, now let's get some answers coming in here, because we want to know what is intellectual property. Today is World Intellectual Property Day, and I want you guys to understand the power of intellectual property. Okay, Rosie says true. Okay. Rosie says true. Robert Stewart, good to see you, Robert Stewart. Sheila Carradine, Tracy Gilbert says, Rosie says true, and Tracy Gilbert says true. Okay, they say true. All right. So I'm going to ask the question again. Intellectual property is property of the mind and not property of the hands. True or false? The answer to the question, my friends, is it's very, very, very true. It's very true. Intellectual property is property of the mind and not property of the hands. So you say, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. What that literally means is that the things that you create with your mind is the things that makes for intellectual property. Intellectual property is the things that you create with your mind. Okay. So now, Tracy, what are some of the things that you can create with your mind? Can you give me some examples? Can you give me some examples? What are examples of things that we create with our mind? All right. Things that we create with our minds are, okay. All right. What are some things we create with our minds? Okay. All right. All right. What are things, things, we with our minds? Okay, that's the question. Okay. What are things we create with our minds? This is World Intellectual Property Day. Now, this scope is for smart people. Okay. Books. Okay. This scope is for intelligent people. That's why it's called World Intellectual Property Day. This scope is not for you if you don't want books. That's one thing we create with our minds is books. What are things we create with our minds? Okay. Tracy says handbooks, products, services. Be specific. I want you to be very specific. Number one, we create books. Okay. Number two, we can create handbooks. Number three, we can create movies. Come on, you guys, come on. Tell me what we can create with our minds. What are some of the things that we create with our minds? Okay. Now, I want you to come on, Rosie. Things that comes from imagination. Oh, that's good, Rosie. I like that. Things that come from the imagination. Now, I like that, Rosie, and I'm going to come back from it. Hi, John from Illinois. Good to see you, John. John, the question on the table is, what is intellectual property? What is intellectual property? And John, we decided that intellectual property is property of the mind and not property of the hands, okay? Now, then when we said property of the minds and not property of the hands, then we said, what things can we create with our minds? What kind of things can we create with our minds? All right. Someone said we can create books. Someone said we can create handbooks. Okay. I want to know what else are some of the things that we can create with our minds. Okay. We got books. We can create books with our mind. We can create handbooks with our minds. And then Rosie said things that come from the imagination. Now, Rosie, this is real good. And I want to tell you, that's brilliant right there, what you just said. Now, here's the thing. Tell me what kind of things that we can create with our minds and from our imagination, Rosie. I want you to drill down a little bit deeper. Now, I need everybody to put this in the comment box, okay? The things that, okay, write this down in the comment box, okay? Write this down in the comment box. Writing is the action side of thinking. Okay, put that down for me real quick. Writing is the action of thinking, or writing is thinking in action. Writing is the action side of thinking. So let's get that down. Writing is the action side of thinking. Now, what I'm saying here is that, Rosie, things in our imagination must be put in a fixed and tangible form. That's right, Miss Gilbert. Things of our imagination must be put in a fixed and tangible form. So if we just have it in our mind and we don't ever take the next step to put it into a fixed and permanent form, then it's not intellectual property. Intellectual property is thinking and imagination that's been put in a fixed form. Now, I need everybody to put in the comment box, fixed form, okay? Fixed form, fixed and tangible form. That's right, Miss Gilbert, that's right. Now, when you say fixed and tangible form, what you are saying is that it is put in some form of permanency. Now, let me give you some idea, okay? Things that come from the mind, okay? Okay, we got John. We welcome you, John. Now, what are some of the things that are in our minds that we can put in a fixed and tangible form? We can put courses in our minds, okay? We can put courses in our mind, okay? That's a fixed and tangible form. That's a fixed and tangible form. Hello, Attorney Andrea Evans. Good to see you, ma'am. Happy World IP Day, okay? Yep, happy World IP Day. Good to see you, ma'am. Welcome into the live stream here today, okay? Thank you for coming in, all right? Now, what about a video? Yes, writing is the action of thinking. That is very true. Writing is the action of thinking. You got to put it video, John. That is correct. Video is a form of fixed. Video is putting it in fixed. Now, okay, now writing is the action of thinking. That is very, very true. Writing is the action side of thinking. That is a beautiful thing to know because you can have all the thoughts in the world. An idea is not a business. An idea has to be put in a fixed and tangible form. And as a writer, and as an author, and as a speaker, and as a content creator, then all of those things, when they are put in a fixed and tangible form, then become subject and are protected by copyright law, It's able to be protected. You have to take some other steps to make that happen. Writing is the action side of thinking, okay? Fixed and tangible form. That is so important right there. You see, fixed and tangible form. Now that we know that writing is the action side of thinking, and we know that things must be put in a fixed and tangible form, then now we need to look at what type things can be put in a fixed and tangible form. What type things can be placed in a fixed and tangible form? Now there's the word strategies, okay? Strategies can be placed in a fixed and tangible form, all right? Okay, so today is World Intellectual Property Day. World Intellectual Property Day. I'm Dr. Fred Jones. My doctorate is a Juris Doctorate. That's a law degree. I have taught intellectual property on the undergraduate level and the graduate level at Kennesaw State University in Kennesaw, Georgia. And this is a subject that I've been studying since 1991. Can I get somebody to put in the comment box? 1991. Hello there. There's the wife over there. She was on with me last night. You have to watch our deal on Facebook. I mean, she's quite a teacher. She's quite a teacher. Okay. So let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Writing is the action side of thinking. All right. Now, so good to see all of you. Since 1991. That's right, folks. 1991. I got started in this space in 1991. And I was in law school at Southern University, and I heard Professor Carrie DeBassinet says, intellectual property. And I'm thinking, whoa, he is a powerful, powerful man, okay? He is a powerful man. And I'm thinking, this is some powerful stuff, intellectual property. All right, so writing is the action side of thinking. We got that established, right? Now, I want to go back to what you said, Rosie. Okay? And again, Rosie said this. Rosie said things that comes from imagination. All right. Things that comes from imagination. Now, what type things come from your imagination? Can someone tell me about that? What are some of the things that you can imagine? What are some of the things that you can draw up? What are some of the things that you can dream up? When you think about them, that's your intellectual property. Okay? Now, but you have to take it a step further. You can't copyright an idea. Okay, now I threw in a word there that I want to pull out. Don't worry about the word copyright. We're not going to talk about that yet. We want to talk about what is intellectual property, and then we want to talk about what you must, how do you create the intellectual property? Gladys McMahon, good to see you. Intellectual property is property of the mind and not property of the hands, okay? Property of the mind and not property of the hands, okay? So things that you can imagine. Now, let's go a little further. What are some of the type things? Let's list seven forms of intellectual property. We're just going to say IP, okay? All right. So I want you guys to put that down. 7 forms of intellectual property. All right. All right. I want us to go to 7 forms of IP. All right. Now let's start all over from the top. Who can give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Let's roll. All right. Let's go. I'm waiting now. We already know books are 1. Handbooks is 2. Courses is 3. I want to hear 4 more. 4 more types of intellectual property. I'm waiting now. Come on. Where are my answers at here? Where are my answers? I see you guys over here. I see y'all in the Facebook group, Barbara Washington and Gladys McMahon and Marshall Thompson. I see you watching. Rosie Murphy. I see you there. Lanier Creer. I see you there. Elizabeth West. I see you guys. So give me 7 forms of intellectual property. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, Coach Linda Foster says recordings. Okay. All right. So that's another form. Recordings. What type recordings? What type recordings? Go down a little deeper, ma'am, and tell me what type recordings are IP. Okay. Come on. Give me more. We got books are intellectual property. We got courses are intellectual property. We got recordings are intellectual property. Where are you guys? Don't keep me waiting. Don't keep me waiting. Okay. What are some other forms of intellectual property? Are y'all waiting on me just to tell you? Okay. Tape recordings. Okay. Tape recordings is true. Tape recordings. You're going to date yourself, Pastor Foster. You're going to date yourself, Coach Foster. Okay. Content. Rosie Murphy. What kind of content? Rosie, what kind of content is intellectual property? Okay. Come on. What kind of content? Okay, pictures is true. That's correct. Let me take some notes here because y'all coming on out the box here. I'm gonna make some notes here. So we got books. I'm waiting on you all to put another one. We got to get to 7. Books. And then we got recordings. Okay. So we need recordings. We got courses. Okay. I see someone else just put a comment up there. Somebody coming out the box here. Pastor Foster says paintings. Oh boy. Okay. Presentations. Okay. All right. Presentations. Painting. Oh, she said pictures. Okay. That's good. Presentations. That's good. Paintings are good. Courses are good. Recordings are good. Books are good. This is really good here. Rosie A. Murphy, your presentations are intellectual property. Now, okay, Okay, your paintings are intellectual property. That is so real. That is so true. Your pictures are intellectual property. That is so real. That is so true. Your content is intellectual property. That is so real. That is so true. Your tape recordings are intellectual property. That is so true. That is so real. So let me ask you a question. Okay. Linda Foster says, everyday conversations. Coach Foster. Coach Foster, everyday conversations. Everyday conversations. Ah, ah. Everyday conversations, Coach Foster, is a recorded phone conversation IP. True or false? True or false? Pastor Foster, you're trying to get this A in my class. I see what you're trying to do. You want to get that A. You that A student there. Woo! Is a recorded conversation intellectual property? I need to know. Okay. Wait a minute now. Pastor Foster, spell that out now. You got no down there? You got no? Hello, Ann. I see you. I see you. Chantella Alexandra, I see you. Barbara Washington, I see you. Okay. I see a lot of you guys in here on this scope today. Pastor Foster, all I want to know is a recorded conversation intellectual property. True or false? True or false? Pastor Foster says, she wants to get that A. She's like, I want the A. I ain't looking for no B. I want the A in your class, sir. And I'm here to tell you, you right up there, is a recorded conversation intellectual property. Is a recorded conversation. That was for the beep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, folks. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's nail this down. There are 7 types of intellectual property. Who else is getting in on this game here? Miss Gilbert, where are you? Did we lose you? There are 7 types of intellectual property. Folks, oh my Lord. Books are intellectual property. Handbooks are intellectual property. Recordings are intellectual property. Photos are intellectual property. Paintings are intellectual property. Presentations are intellectual property. Pictures are intellectual properties. Movies are intellectual properties. Your videos are intellectual property. Are y'all listening to me tonight? Okay. I want to help somebody. I want to help you guys. Are y'all with me? Am I helping anybody? Am I helping? It's World IP Day, and we're celebrating that today because this is a beautiful, beautiful concept when you really understand it. When you really understand what World IP is all about, then you will become excited because you have property that you may not be aware that you have. Did y'all hear what I said? You have property that you may not be aware that you have, okay? You got property. Isn't it a powerful feeling to discover that you got money in the bank that you didn't know you had in the bank? Happens all the time. Happens all the time. All right. Now, let's go a little further. If you got intellectual property, if property is the mind, thoughts, your thoughts, what must you do to protect it? Now, better yet, what is the legal form of protecting your IP? What is the legal way to protect intellectual property? When someone has intellectual property, it must be protected through this vehicle called copyright. Okay, copyright. Copyright is the legal form of protecting your IP. Now, what I want to do is tell you about intellectual property. There are 4 types of intellectual property. 4 types of intellectual property. Are you guys ready for it? 4 types of intellectual property. Now, I want to go ahead and put those in the comment box. Are you ready? 4 types of intellectual property. All right. Copyright is one. Copyright. COPYRIGHT. Copyright is one. Okay. That's one form. Okay. Trademark is another. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Copyright, trademark, and then there's patents. PATENTS. Patents is another. Okay. All right. Patents. Okay. I think I spelled that right. And then here's one that you don't hear a lot about. Okay. Here's one you don't hear a lot about. Okay. Right there. All right. Those are the 4 forms of intellectual property. Are you ready for me to show them to you? Number 1, copyright. We copyright our ideas. We copyright our writings. We copyright our thoughts. Copyright is written protection of your intellectual property. We trademark our brands. We trademark our businesses. We trademark those areas of the law that distinguishes and denotes us from other people. Hello, Listra Inspires. Good to see you, ma'am. Thank you for coming in. Come on in. Ask your question, Listra, and I will endeavor to answer your question. We trademark our brands and our business, and we patent our inventions. Okay, we patent our inventions. We patent those things that we want to create and make a very unique. We patent inventions. And then, my friends, in the whole process of everything, there's this thought that we have called trade secrets. Trade secrets. Okay, so that's the way that works right there. Okay, those are the 4 forms of intellectual property. Okay, the 4 types of intellectual property that we're talking about is copyright is one form, trademark is another, M-A-R-K, yep, trademark, and then we got patents is another mark, and then we got trade secrets. That's also a big form of intellectual property. For example, you don't know Coca-Cola's recipe. Anybody here knows Coca-Cola's recipe? No, you don't. Okay, so we copyright our ideas, we trademark our invention, our businesses and our brands, and we patent our inventions, and we keep our trade secrets to ourselves. Okay, so do you guys see that? You guys see that? Those are the forms of copyright. Those are the forms of intellectual property. Most times you hear people talk about 3 forms of intellectual property, and that's correct. The 3 are correct. But then also there's that 4th form of intellectual property. The 4th form of intellectual property. Okay? Trade secrets. Okay? So writing is the action side of thinking. I want you to always keep that in mind. Writing is the action side of thinking. Now, folks, we are in a time now where you're going to hear more and more people talk about intellectual property. Okay, come on, just put it in the comment box. Do you know why we're going to hear more and more people talk about intellectual property? More and more people are going to talk about intellectual property because more and more people are starting businesses online. And many people are starting businesses online ill-prepared to protect the foundation of their business. Come on, somebody. Write in the comment box, protect the foundation of your business. And one of the best ways you can protect the foundation of your business is to learn more about intellectual property. If you don't know what you have, you'll give it away. It kind of reminds me of that old country western song, Just Give It Away. This guy was going through a divorce. He said, this old house that I'm living in, it ain't worth it anymore. Just give it away. Just give it away. A lot of times when we're struggling and going through things and we're not really thinking about the big picture of what we have working for us, my friends, we'll just give it away. Just give it away. And that's a horrible thing to do when you give away your most valuable asset. Now, can I ask you a question? What is your number one piece of intellectual property? What is your number one piece of protect the foundation of your business? That is so real, Pastor. That is so real, Coach Linda Foster. Coach Linda Foster. So I got a question for you. What is your number one? What is your number one form of intellectual property? Can someone answer that for me? What is your number one asset when it comes to intellectual property? What is the number one piece of intellectual property you own? Okay. I need someone to just tell me that. Come on, y'all jump on out here. Help me with this scope because I want to go somewhere with this. What is the number one form of intellectual property that you own? Okay, I'm watching. Janet Passman McKinney. Hello, Janet Passman McKinney. Thank you for watching. Okay, go ahead and make a comment. What is the number one form of intellectual property that you own? Can anybody tell me that? It's your what? I want you to take a guess, somebody. Take a guess. It's your copyright. Okay. Yes, it's your copyright. Copyright is how you protect your number one form. Okay. Oh, Rosie said it's your name. Rosie Murphy says it's your name. Rosie, you are close to being right. You are so close. Linda Foster, you are close to also being right. Both of you are so on point. Okay. Most of you say it's your name. Okay. Pastor Foster says it's your name. Rosie Murphy says it's your name. Give me a little bit more. Go further than your name. Your number one form of intellectual property is not necessarily your name. Your name encompasses it, but what else is it? It's your Rolodex, okay? Your Rolodex. Oh, okay, I see. Lystra says it's your Rolodex. It's the people you contact. It's the people you know. Folks, not yet. Come on, just think a little harder for me. Think a little harder. Push. Is it your brand? You're getting close. Okay? You're getting close, but not your brand. What I'm talking about is the foundation to everything you are. What is it? Your name is true. Is it your secrets? Ooh, hey, if this was horseshoes, you know where you throw the horseshoes and you get a leaner, you guys would be like scoring big because you're leaning right in there. Is it your business? No, the business comes after this. Your name is true. Okay, let's just settle it. It's your name. It's your secrets. It's your brand. It's all of that stuff. But there's another word that I'm looking for. That we all kind of overlooking right now. And I want you to come in. Your ideas. Yeah, that's good. But it's something else and all of you are overlooking it. When I tell you what it is, you're going to say, oh, I know that. Okay, come on. What is it? It's that thing we all have what? Everybody has to tell yes, we got ideas. Yes, we got ideas. Awesome ideas. I agree with that ideas. But then there's something else that we all have, that we all go through. Everybody has a what? And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the words of their. And give me another word other than that church word. I don't want to. There it is. Right there. It's your story. Pastor Foster. Opinion? Not quite. Not the opinion. It's not the opinion, Lystra. It's your story. It's your testimony. That is your number one piece of intellectual property. That is your number one piece of intellectual property. Did you hear what I said? That is you, my friend. That is you. And your name encompasses that. Your name embodies your story. Your brand is built upon your story. Your business is built upon your story. All you need, my friend, is a testimony of what God has done. All you need is a testimony of what God has done in order for you to build an awesome brand. Your testimony, your story is the foundation to your brand. It's the foundation to your business. Your story is your number one piece of intellectual property as a copyright. And that's why, and someone says, how do you protect your story? Well, here's how you protect your story. The number one way to protect your story, are you ready? The number one way to protect your story is to put it in writing. Put it down. Everybody listening, if you want to really get this in you, put it in writing. Put it in writing. When you put it in writing, you are now putting your story in what kind of form? When you put your story in writing, you are now putting your story in what kind of form? Did I hear somebody comment? When you put your story in writing, you are putting your story in fixed form. When you put your story in writing, you're putting your story in fixed form. Come on, put that in the comment box. This is huge, my friend, because this is where it goes over people's head. Protect your story by putting it in writing. When you put your story in writing, you are now putting it in fixed form. Can I get somebody to say fixed form? Okay, I ain't going to do all the work tonight. Y'all need to put that in the comment box, okay? All right, fixed form, okay? When you put your story in writing, you put it in fixed form in writing. That's one way to protect it. The second way to protect it is, put it in fixed form, okay? Fixed form. All right. Now, another concept, okay? How do you protect your story? You protect it by putting it in fixed form, okay? All right, fixed form. And fixed form is the writing. Fixed form can be a video, and fixed form can be an audio recording. All three of those steps will help you get started in protecting your intellectual property. Got it? All right. I hope I'm helping somebody. Fixed form, that's it. Fixed form is number one. Fixed form is number one. Number two is a fixed form is huge. And fixed form can be three ways. Fixed form is by putting in writing, by video in the story, and or audio recording. Fixed form is number one, put it in a writing, number one, put it in a video form, number two, or number three, put it in audio recording. All three of those are ways to record or to protect your story, Okay, so that's so important. Now, Lystra, are you still in the scope? Are you still here? Lystra Wilson, are you still here? Okay. I need you to write. If you are, go ahead and comment, ma'am. If you are, go ahead and comment. And so I want to address a question that you posed in a Facebook group today. If you're still here, I'll address that question. If not, writing, video, audio. All of those are ways that you can protect your intellectual property. That is so real. Okay, that is so real. Thank you. All right. Now, listen, folks. Yes. Okay. So tell me, Miss Wilson, what was that question that was posted in the Facebook group? There was a question posted over there. I want to answer that question. It was something about a pre-publication review agreement. Pre-publication review agreement. Am I correct about it? Give me the name of that, and I'll answer that for you. What is a pre-publication review agreement? If you, first of all, this works when you are traditionally publishing. This works in a traditional publishing setting. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you are self-publishing, then you are publishing yourself and you are the publisher. Therefore, you don't need a pre-publication agreement, or you don't have to have one. Well, yeah, yes, that's what it was. Okay. Well, you can have a pre-publication agreement. Yes, you can, even even if you're self-publishing. Now, the concept of a pre-publication agreement will normally come into play when you, the author or the writer, have worked or been employed with an agency that has top level secrets. If you've been involved or worked with a government agent, let's say, or you've been a high ranking official in a corporation and they've entrusted you with top level secrets, and you come in and you work for them and you've learned all of their secrets, and then you leave and you say, I want to go publish a book. Oftentimes, those agencies will say to you, before you ever get started to work for them, we want you to sign a pre-publication review agreement. And the pre-publication review agreement is an agreement that says, I, the author, who was an employee of this agent, will give the agency permission to review my publication before I tell all. Because the agency wants to make sure that you don't go and tell the agency secrets. They want to protect their trade secrets. And that's what a pre-publication agreement is more about. It's about the trade secrets, okay? Trade secrets. And that is important. That is very critical when somebody is wanting to write a tell-all book. You want to make sure that the trade secrets of the company has been protected. And that's where you would, that's what that's all about. That's what the pre-publication review agreement is all about. Did I help you, ma'am? Did I help you in what I shared there? Okay, now, who can tell me what are the 4 types of intellectual property? What are the 4 types of intellectual property? We need to know this, and I'm going to go over it again and again, okay? What are the 4 types of intellectual property? Can somebody on Periscope tell me what they are? Can somebody in Facebook tell me what they are? Pre-publication review agreement to protect trade secrets. That's primarily what it's all about. Yes, thanks, okay? And by the way, folks, nothing that I'm sharing on here is legal advice. I want to encourage everybody to go and get your own attorney. You'll need to talk to your own attorney. Nothing that I'm sharing here is legal advice. This is educational information and business coaching. Now, let's do a recap. What are the 4 types of intellectual property? I need you to put them in the comment box. Those of you who are just coming in, those of you who are watching out there on Facebook, you're watching on Periscope, and you're watching on YouTube Live, go ahead and put a comment in the comment box. What are the 4 types of intellectual property? Okay, let me go ahead and put one in the comment box. What are the 4 types? And then next, I'm going to talk to you about how to protect intellectual property. Now, our most basic law recognizes that the writer's work product. Okay, what is a writer's work product? Okay, what is a writer's work product? All right, the Constitution acknowledged that a writer's work product deserves legal protection. Okay, now I want you to write in the comment box. Here is where intellectual property is protected at. Okay, Article 1, Section 8. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8, CLAUSE, Clause 8. Okay, of United States Constitution. Okay, United States Constitution. All right. Okay. There we go. 4 types of intellectual property. 4 types of intellectual property: copyright, trademark, and trade secrets and patents. Okay, that's it. That is it. Okay, 4 types of intellectual property: copyright, trademark, trade secrets, and patents. Okay, those are the 4 types of intellectual property: copyright, trademarks, patents, and trade secrets. Thank you, Rosie Murphy. Thank you, Rosie. You're on it. Thank you so much. You're on it. Okay. Now, folks, I want you to know, and you can Google this. You can Google this. Check it out. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution says that writers shall have protection of their intellectual property. Okay? So Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution gives Congress the power. Congress. Somebody put in here Congress, because so often we don't realize how big and how major intellectual property is. It gives Congress the power to promote the progress of science and useful art. Okay, Congress has the power to protect and promote the science of useful art. Writing is a useful art. Can I get 3 people to put that in the comment box? Writing is a useful art. That's according to the law. That's according to the Constitution. Writing is a useful art, okay? By securing to authors and inventions for a limited time the exclusive rights to their respective writings, okay? Writing is a useful art. Writing is a useful art, okay? It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing, okay? Hello, Renee Jackson Bradford. Good to see you. Greetings and grace. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in over here on Periscope. We're live today celebrating World Intellectual Property Day. World Intellectual Property Day. And I want you to know that the number 1 form of intellectual property you have is your story. That which was sent to destroy you, God is going to use it to deliver you. Come on now. You are the expert of your experience. You are the expert of your experience. So I want to encourage you to realize how powerful your story is. Your story is the source of your intellectual property. Your story is the foundation to all of your intellect. And we saw here where Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the Constitution, Congress give you the authority to promote useful art. Writing is a useful art. Okay. Now, let's go a little further here. Now, oh my Lord. Okay. Rosie Murphy. I want you to write this down. You have exclusive rights to your writings. You have exclusive rights to your writings. When you write and create something, you have exclusive rights to your writings. Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. Okay. Copyright, trademark, inventions, and trade secrets are the 4 types of intellectual property. Okay. Now, do you know that you have exclusive, exclusive, exclusive rights, all right, GHTS. So this is really huge right here, my friend. This is really huge right here. Exclusive rights. You have exclusive rights to your writings, okay? Now, let's go a little further here. All right. That you have in your book. The legal interest that you have in your book is called your copyright interest. The legal interest that you have in your book is called a copyright interest. That interest means, that interest, you have exclusive rights to your writings. That is so true right there. That is the law. Hello, Artilla Dixon. Good to see you. You have exclusive rights to your writings. You are the expert of your experience. Can I get someone to help me write that? You are the expert of your experiences. Nobody knows your story like you know your story. Nobody knows your journey like you know your journey. You are the expert of your experience. And when you are the expert of your experience, then you are the exclusive owner of that intellectual property. Okay, when does your experience become intellectual property? When you write your story out on paper, you are now writing your worth. And so often we minimize the power of our story and we don't tell it, we don't write it, and we don't sell it because we don't know how to position, how to protect, and how to promote our story. You are the expert of your experience. That is correct. Okay. And by the way, your experience, Dr. Brown, your experience is the foundation to all of your intellectual property. All of your IP grows from your story. Your story is the foundation to all of your intellectual property. Every brand, every business, when you buy their product, on the back of their little product or somewhere in their book or somewhere on the back of there, it's going to say, here's the story. And they're going to tell you the story or the journey of that company. And every company has a story. And that story is the source of intellectual property. The story is the source of intellectual property. Are you with me? You are the expert of your experience. That's true. You are the expert of your experience. And now I want to tell you something else about that. She who has an experience is never at the mercy of him who only has a theory. You want me to run that under the bridge again? I will. She who has an experience is never at the mercy of him who only has a theory. Experience trumps theory every single time. Would you rather hear of somebody who walked through the fire or somebody who wrote a book about walking through the fire and don't know that fire is hot? I personally would rather have somebody who would have walked through the fire than tell me how to walk through the fire than somebody who's just going to wrote a book about the fire. So your experience is not subject to any committee. Your experience is not subject to anybody's vote. You have exclusive rights to your writing. You are the expert of your experience. You follow me? You are the expert of your experience. Your story is the foundation to your intellectual property. Everything builds upon your story. This is why I tell people all the time, the best way to start an online business, the best way to start a brand, the best way to jump out here and begin to make money online is to write an ebook. Somebody just put in here, ebook. Write an ebook and tell your story and become comfortable telling your story because people are going to be drawn to you because of your journey. And this is your intellectual property. This is like the foundation of your whole business. It rides upon something as simple as your story. Most people think making money online is hard. It's really not hard. It's easy if you do it right. Why do you think I say on my opening line? My opening line every time I come on here is what? The most expensive thing you will ever pay is attention to the wrong people. There are a lot of people teaching stuff online. There are a lot of people claiming they're experts online, and many of them are. I don't doubt anybody's expert status if it's based on their experience, if it's based on what they have accomplished. I started in this space in 1991. Put it in the comment box. Now, did I see 3 of y'all put ebooks? I need to see if somebody put ebooks, okay? Did y'all put ebooks? Put ebook down here. That is the simplest and easiest way to start an online business. I see 2 people put it. I need 3 people to put ebooks down. Okay, give me 1 more person to put ebook. Are you going to be the next person? Put ebook down there. You need to see that because, my friend, you can go to kdp.amazon.com right now and go there and set your account up and publish an ebook. And if you got people that believe in your story, that are listening to your story, they will buy your book and you can start generating revenue. You can start generating revenue right there, right now, based off of what? Your story. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you need a license to tell your story? Yes or no? Watch this. I'm going to type this in. What do you need to tell your story? Look, okay, here's the question. What do you need to tell your story? What do you need to tell your story? Do you need a license? Do you need a certification? Do you need board approval? Do you need a degree? Do you need Congress to pass some legislation? Do you need somebody's permission? Okay, let me. Thank you for that. You don't need none of that to tell your story. I needed to respond. I needed to respond to my one of my team members here. Okay. You don't need none of that to tell your story. Okay. No, you don't need that. No, no, no. You don't need that. You need a mouth. Okay. You need courage. You need the ability to say, I'm going to tell my story. That's all you need. You don't need any of that. Don't make this hard. You can do this stuff yourself if you have the courage to do it. Okay. So this is how intellectual property works. This is how this stuff works. Okay. And so I wanted to encourage you all tonight and let you know this is World Intellectual Property Day. It's so important for you to step into this intellectual property space. I see Otis Weldon. That's my Mr. Otis Weldon. Otis Weldon. Watch this. Let me see. Bring Otis in. Let me see how this would work. Otis, come on in on the camera. Let me see how that works. Bring them on camera. Okay. Add Otis. Otis, hit the accept button and come in on camera here because I'm talking about intellectual property and I'm talking about World Intellectual Property Day. Otis, today is World Intellectual Property Day, and if you're available, I would love for you to come in on the screen and come on live, and let's talk about World IP. Otis probably won't do it. He's my buddy out in Atlanta. He's an attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, Otis Weldon. He's phenomenal. Let me see now. Let's see. What's that? I had never seen that. Come on, bring Otis on camera. Otis, come on camera here, and we'll talk about it. There's a button right there. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, are y'all still with me? Am I helping anybody? Have y'all learned anything new? Did you learn something today that you didn't know? Did you learn something today that you didn't know? Okay, that's all I want to know. Did you learn something today that you didn't know? All right, okay. So come on. Let me hear from you all. Let me hear from you all today. Okay. And give me a comment down in the bottom. Okay. Miss Rosie Murphy, did you pick up on something that you didn't know? Listra Wilson, did you learn something that you did not know before you came on to the scope to this live stream today? Ebooks is the number one way for you to protect your intellectual property. Folks, it's about that time now. It's about that time. And I am going to figure out how to get off of here. I'm going to figure out how to get off of here. Otis Weldon, she said, yes. What did you learn? What stood out for you? Okay, what stood out for you today? All right. What was the biggest takeaway for you today? Always learn here. Okay, all right. What was a big takeaway for you today? There's something going on right there. Okay, wow. Let's see here. Now, that's different there. Read only. Okay, all right. Oh, read only. Yeah, okay. All right, restream. Read only. I don't know what that means. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Rosie Murphy, the mouth and ebooks. Okay, the worth of my story. Okay, all right. That's good. All of you all are getting some real value here. Okay, the mouth and ebooks. Okay, awesome. So, folks, this has been World Intellectual Property Day. I'm done here. I wanted to come in and give you all some real value. So now I want you all to get on out now and write your story. Tell your story. Okay? And we're going to call it a night. Your story is the foundation of your intellectual property. The mouth and ebook. Your story is the foundation of your intellectual property. We're going to call it a night here, folks. I'm going to call it a night. All right, I see a new comment just come in. Rosie, the property of the mind. Property of the mind. That's what it is. That's what it is right there. Intellectual property is property of the mind. Hello, Lady B. Ashley over on YouTube. Lady B. Ashley over on YouTube. Hello there. So good to see you. Intellectual property, Lady B. Ashley, is property of the mind and not property of the hand. Property of the mind and not property of the hand. Okay. What do you need to tell your story? Come on, folks. Yes, you'll watch the replay. Sure, watch the replay, Lady B. Ashley. Watch the replay. We're talking about intellectual property, property of the mind, not property of the hand. Your ebooks is intellectual property, Ashley. Your recordings are intellectual property. Even your phone conversations can be intellectual property. Even your writings are intellectual property. Your paintings are intellectual property. Your photos are intellectual property. All of those things, Lady B. Ashley, can be and are your intellectual property. So I want to just encourage you all to think about protecting your intellectual property. And here's my closing point. The most expensive thing you will ever pay, my friends, is attention to the wrong people. I'm going to call it a night. Until next time. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah. All of those things are intellectual property when they're put in a fixed and tangible form. Okay. Fixed and tangible form. All right. Okay. All right, folks. Until next time, I'm going to make like a tree and leave, make like a banana and split. Are there any other questions? Any other questions or comments for today? Okay. Oh, yeah. Orthology. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's put this caption up here. There it is right there, folks. That's going to be our close. World Intellectual Property Day. Your value is unlimited. Your worth is without measure. Create and protect your IP. There it is right there. That's what we're going to leave it with Marie Jones Williams. Marie Jones Williams, your value is unlimited. Your worth is without measure, but your price is what you're willing to accept. We're going to leave it right there, my friends, and we're going to call it a day. Until next time, I'm Dr. Fred Jones, the world's only worthologist, reminding you the most expensive thing you will ever pay is always going to be attention to the wrong people. Good night.